Welcome back to White Sparrow Living, Luke 12:6. I'm Wendy, and on today's episode, I've got 20 Dollar Tree ideas for organizing, storage solutions. I've got hacks, even some family updates. There's a little bit of everything for everybody. So without further ado, let's get started. For this project, I'm using 2 gift boxes. You can find these in the gift wrapping area or the party supply aisle. They have lots of different boxes. You just want 2, one a little bit smaller than the other. They have adorable patterns and colors for you to choose from, but I'm gonna be covering this up so that it matches my decor. This was pretty cute on the outside. And you can do this for any season because during Christmas time, they have some really cute boxes as well. Now I'm gonna take 2 strips of 5/8 inch faux leather ribbon from the Dollar Tree, cut 2 strips about 4 inches long, and then fold those in half, poke a hole through the front of the lid, and then use a brass brad. Stick that in that hole and then open up the little wings in the back, and you can add some hot glue just to make it a little more stable if you want. But one problem I always have with my boxes is that they don't stay in place, so they get a little wonky and it looks messy in your decor. So I'm going to take some hook and loop tape also from the Dollar Tree and just stick that on there. It's self-adhesive and it stays perfectly straight. And this way I can put my remotes in there. Now this is a little bit smaller, so if you have longer remotes, you want to get boxes that'll fit those obviously. But I'm going to be using this for something different anyway since I already have a remote holder. I always have a problem with my Wi-Fi password and I don't remember it if you haven't changed it and it's some crazy code with numbers and letters or some random words or numbers. So you can keep those in place by taking a wooden clothespin and hot glue that to the top of your lid and then stick your Wi-Fi password inside there, and you can change it out if you change the password. I thought this is a really cute one. This is what my friend Mandy and T use at their nail shop down the street. The Wi-Fi code is Ask My Wife. Anyway, so I'm going to be using this for something else. If you don't like cords showing, if you're like me and you have problems keeping your earbuds or your portable chargers charged at all times, make a little slit in the back of your bottom box and then you can feed your USB cords through there, attach them to your devices, and then at the other end you can put your bricks on and plug it in, and this way your cords won't show. And in the top box, put those bricks in there so that you always have them, and then you can place things in front of it so that your cords aren't showing. It's super functional, super handy, and keeps things in place so you know where they are at all times, and they're super cutie patootie. Another storage idea for organization, and it's pretty easy on the eyes, is picking up these plastic locker bins. If you want to put these out on a shelf or somewhere they're going to be seen, I would definitely paint these with some white chalk paint or spray paint, because as my aunt always taught me, plastic is like undergarments, necessary but should never be seen. So I'm gonna have these inside of a cabinet so they're not gonna show, but I picked up 3 of these frames and I wanted to show you they come in different finishes, so whatever look you're going for, you could paint these bins black or whatever color goes with your decor. So I'm gonna be using the gold ones for this project, and these are just the nameplate holders for a dinner service, you know, the name cards. Anyway, I'm just gonna take the insides out and cut a piece of paper out to cover up that writing, and then I'll place everything back inside, and then I'm going to pull that kickstand off by moving it back and forth until it comes off. And then I just took a piece of white string and hot glued that to the top part of the back of my frame, and then I put a little bit more glue on top of that just so it stays snug as a bug in a rug. And then I closed all my little tabbies up, and I'm going to do that for all 3 of my frames, and this way I can change them out if I ever want to. So now I'm going to make a big hole on each side where my string's going to go through into my locker bin, and I'm just using my big fat nail, but use whatever you need to. And then I just fed the string in through the holes, and then I'm going to tie it really tight on the back, and this is going to give me that option to change it out in the future if I ever want to. It's not really cute on the inside, but you're not going to see that. And this way also I can change out whatever words I put on the front. So I'm using my dry erase pen and I just wrote in what I'm putting in there for right now. So these are super versatile. You can change them out, of course. And again, it's just another way to be organized in a cute way If you think you probably won't ever change them out, then just use regular adhesive vinyl or your cutting machine or whatever, and then keep them that way forever. But I love how these turned out, and I hope you like them too. For this project, I'm using a poster weekly calendar and an 11 by 14 frame, and I'm just pulling out the back side of my frame, and I'm going to cut down my poster. It's a little wonky because it wants to roll up on you, so I'm just going to flatten it out and then cut it down with a craft knife or utility knife, and so that it will fit onto the backing of your frame, and then pop it right back inside and close those tabs up on the back. And if you're like me, I always lose the pen. This is another dry erase idea. So take another piece of your hook and loop tape. It is self-adhesive, but on glass it doesn't really stick as well. So I'm going to use some super glue to get that super attached, and I'll put one side on the back of my pen and the other side on my glass and attach it to the board so that it's always there and available. Now you can have the week's events all handy. You could do this in a, what are those things called? A command zone, that's it. Where you have everything all handy for when you're walking out the door to keep you organized throughout the week. Anyway, you could also put this on the inside of a cabinet if you don't want to see it. I think it's pretty cute, but just remember to always do some Jesus praising on Sunday. I love it, and I hope you like it too. For the next project, to keep your expo pens, your dry erase pens in order, I'm using one of these acrylic, I think it's a nail polish or lipstick holder, something for the bathroom, but I thought these were so cute, and I bought all the different colors of the rainbow. I'm putting my cleaner in the back and the little eraser fabric. I know a lot of people are working from home now, and also this is perfect if you're homeschooling your littles. And it's super cute, of course, but I do know the markers are cheaper if you buy them at like Walmart or online in a set. But how sweet is this? And all the pretty colors. It's just a super cute way to keep those expos organized and handy. Now, one of my favorite aisles to go through at Dollar Tree is the hardware section, and I always snatch up these kits because they're useful and keep the little stuff organized, and they're easy to store. So these large picture hangers, they come in handy for all kinds of things. If you have a command center or your home office, they're perfect for hanging clipboards. But I've also used them on the inside of my craft room cabinets to organize and hang my cutting and craft mats. And they don't get bent or messed up, and I can easily get to them, and it saves a lot of shelf space. Hammer in that nail through the hole at the top, and it goes at an angle, so you want to make sure it doesn't go through to the front of the door. A lot of people don't remember to use the insides of their cabinet doors, but this is where I'll put some of my grandkids' artwork and scriptures or things that I want to keep handy. So be sure to check out the hardware aisle the next time you're at a Dollar Tree. So this is a DIY I did a while back, but it never matched the theme of the projects I was doing, so I'm throwing it into this one. So I took 2 Christmas signs and I put them together and pulled off the paper from the top one because the back one is already blank, and so these have those plank cutouts on the side, so I had to stack them this way so that they'd match. And then I painted one side white and the other side red, and then I cut out my words on my cutting machine, and this is going to be a 2-sided sign. One side says meeting in progress, please do not disturb, and then the other side says welcome, come on in. And this was a gift for the school principal at Old River Elementary here in Bakersfield, and it was from her office staff. So this will hang on her office door, and I didn't want it to bang around or rub on it, so I just added some nautical rope around it on both sides, and they have kind of an Americana Western theme, so I thought the rope was perfect. And then for the hanger, I used some wired jute twine, and I fed it through the top holes, and then they were already there, so I didn't have to do any drilling on this one. And then I added a few 1-inch wood beads, which also worked out because I had some leftover red ones that I painted at Christmas. And then I gathered some fun ribbon in the same color theme and just alternated patterns and sizes, and I'm folding and looping them over. This is the easiest messy bow in the world because I'm just grabbing it in my hand and pulling it all together, and then I used a chenille stem to tie them together and attach it to the top of that wired twine. Oh, and I dovetailed the ends before I put it on the twine. And then to cover the corner where my rope comes together, I hot glued some teeny tiny little flowers so that that wouldn't show. And I think this is so stinking cute, and the messy bow is perfect because it basically is reversible too, and you don't have to mess with it once you turn it over. And they all loved it so much they ordered another one for the assistant principal, and I wanted hers to be a little bit different, so she got this one. I love it, and I hope you like it too. Now, you all know I love jars and containers with lids, but mixing and matching the glasses is so much fun, even though people wonder what the heck I'm doing when I'm replacing them all and going back and forth and seeing if they fit. But I'm going to take the lids off and use those in another project, and then use these trinket holders in black. And I filled them both with bathroom items. I have some makeup rounds and then some makeup sponges. I've since switched out the makeup sponges with Q-tips because my mom was having a hard time finding them. So now she can easily see them, and you can put your jewelry and hairbands on top, and that's for temporary purposes, Kennedy. And this is another functional but super cute way to organize. And then, oh my goodness, this is one of my favorites. Also in the hardware aisle, you can find these plastic storage cases that are meant for little things like screws and nails or whatever. But I'm going to make this into a jewelry library, and I made the boxes pretty by cutting out squares from a gift bag with gold polka dots on it to fit the top indentation of those boxes, and then just used a glue stick to adhere it to that. And of course, the possibilities are endless here to make these match your own decor. But this is for our daughter Kennedy, so it's going to be perfect in her room. And I do need to go get about 3 more boxes to fill up the bin. And then they also have a little hanger on the side that you can just cut off with your scissors because it's pretty thin plastic. But I think this is a great way to keep your jewelry or even small craft supplies organized and stored in a really pretty way. And since they're clear, you can still see what's on the inside. Super functional, super cute, and I hope you guys like it too. So next we'll be making a bow holder, and I have my sweet assistant Cadence helping me with this one. And Dollar Tree offers lots of options for the top board. So which one did you decide was your favorite?
The flower.
Surprise, surprise, huh? And where can you get all of these pieces?
You can get it at Dollar Tree.
That's true.
So I wanted to use this ribbon color, this ladybug ribbon color.
Right, which we just found an extra piece of that in Grandma's stash, right?
Yeah. And then these big, thick ribbon would be for my bows.
Uh-huh.
Mine are bigger than Kindle's, which Kindle's going to be just a black ribbon.
Because it's smaller, right?
Yeah, as you can see, it's that.
And that's actually 5/8 inch.
So we have all these bows.
Wow.
There's a lot. And so there's some pretty big sparkly ones in here. There's a lot of pink and black and white ones. There's all sorts of bows. So
That's a lot,
yeah, these are all the bows.
So we definitely need a bow holder.
Yeah, I just have nowhere to put them.
Perfect. Ah, my heart. She's so stinking adorable. Anyway, we're going to take this board and cut off the little jute twine holder on there. We'll replace that later. But I'm going to take some ballet slipper chalk paint and my white chalk paint, and then using kind of a wider brush, I'm going to load it on both sides. So I just put the paint next to each other and then pulled my brush through both of those paints, half on one side, half on the other, and then did a couple of the petals and then showed Cadence how to do it. And this is how easy this is. I mean, she is a pretty good little artist, but anyone can do this, and we're just blending in those colors and making those petals just all pretty and pink and white. And then in the second row, we're going to do the same thing, but we'll just kind of do it a little bit below where that white is, and then just finish it out in the middle by tapping along the inside so that it looks like the middle of a flower. You really just can't mess this up because a flower isn't perfect and it's all blended and shaded and stuff. So this turns out really super cutie patootie. But you heard Cadence say that Kendall's ribbons are going to be the smaller ones. And for those of you that don't know, we just had our 4th grandchild. Well, we didn't, my daughter did, and my son-in-law. So they did the hard work, and I get to watch them and love on them and then send them home. So now we're going to take the ribbon that Cadence picked out and cut those down to the size and length that we want. So we'll have the larger ones on the middle because I only had a little bit of that ladybug ribbon. So I'm going to put that in the middle and then put the 2 pink ones on the sides, and then the 2 5/8 black ribbon to coordinate with the ladybug ribbon in between those. So Cadence's bows will be on the larger ribbons, and then Kendall's will be on the little small black ones. So I also got to teach her how to dovetail the edge of a ribbon, and so she will keep that with her forever. I just love watching our hands working together on camera, and I'll be able to keep this forever, and then whenever I'm gone she can see this later on, and I just wish I had this with my grandma. And then I took a black Sharpie paint pen that I get from Walmart, and I'm just going to write in some calligraphy Cadence and Kendall. And on a piece of scrap paper, I wrote out Cadence's name a few times in different fonts so that she could decide which font she wanted to use for her project. And then to give it some ladybugs on the flower, I took Cadence's finger and dipped it in my crimson chalk paint, and then she made little fingerprints. I should have done this with Kendall also and just taken her little teeny tiny fingerprints and added little ones as well. I still might do that. Anyway, and then we just turned those into ladybugs. I showed her the first time, and then she went off on her own and made it her own. And so I think this was just a super cute way to spend some quality time together, but also making something super functional that she'll be able to use, which they're already using this because we did make it a while back. Anyway, on the back side, I wrote a little message that she can look back on in the future. And then we just added some more jute twine to use as the holder, added our bows, and it's done. For this Dollar Tree DIY, I'm using 3 napkin holders and a set of 2 rulers, and I'm just taking the tags off. I don't know why I didn't think of doing this sooner because I really needed this. So I'm just going to take off the numbered part, the measuring part of my rulers, and they come off super easy, and I do save those because I know one of these days I am going to use those for something. And then I'm going to take my rulers outside. Now you totally don't have to do this because they really don't show until you take off a towel. That'll make sense in a second. But I'm using my chrome spray paint and just spraying on the back side of my rulers, and once those are completely dry, I'm going to take my napkin holders and space those out so that I have an open space from the napkin holder itself and then in between each of them where I attach them together. Again, that'll make sense in a second too. So I'm also going to be using some wire, and I'm just going to wrap these around. There's no glue involved. There's really nothing. This is a super easy project. And so I'm going to attach my 2 rulers to my napkin holders, just get it really tight and it doesn't move at all. Then I took some command hooks, attached them to my wall, and these are perfect for putting my hand towels in between each of those and then in between each of the napkin holders. Do you see what I'm saying? And I also should have put one at the very top, but I was out of gray towels. Anyway, if you're looking for hand towel storage and you have those long skinny walls, this is the perfect project to place right there, and you get more storage and it's super functional. And the top shelf, you can always use that one as the one that you wipe your hands with and then put it right back, so nothing looks out of place. For this storage idea, I'm using 3 metal planters or tin planters, and then a paper towel holder and some zip ties. And so you see that there's a seam on the back of these. I'm just gonna push that jute twine down so that I can punch a hole in it. Again, you can use just a big nail to get that hole in there if you don't have this CROP-O-DILE. So I'm just gonna take my zip ties and wrap it around my paper towel holder just to make sure that it's secure. And I'm gonna do that with all 3 of these. Now, I did this in another video where I made this into a spring decor piece, but I have been using this ever since for so many different things. And you can use this in the bathroom, you can use it for your plasticware for a party. Right now I have it on my island and we're using it for fruits and vegetables. So it can be used for anything that you want, anything that you need. And then just to make it a little prettier, I put some eucalyptus from Walmart into the center to give it a little greenery. And if you follow me on Instagram or on my YouTube community page, you know that my mom just turned 77 in May. So we had a little party for her and had some of her favorite foods. And so we used it for the plasticware and just had a really good time. So I thought I would share that with you. She's still doing well. She didn't remember the party, but we just keep showing her pictures. So that's one good thing about having short-term memory loss. She gets those feelings of gratitude and appreciation, excitement, surprise, all of those good feelings over and over again every time she sees her birthday cards or gifts. Or the best one is when she sees baby Kendall. Every time she cries and is so excited to see her great-granddaughter. So since I took forever to get this video out, it's a little bit late for a 4th of July project, but I thought I would show it to you anyway because you can still do these with the clear dispensers, or it did go a little awry because, well, I'll show you that in a second. But I'm just gonna paint this acrylic tray in my chalk paint in white. You could spray paint this or you could leave it the color that it is, doesn't really matter. And since I had my white chalk paint out, I'm also gonna paint 3 of these metal stars. And then I went back once my white paint was dry with some Waverly wax in antique, and I just brushed it on there and then just wiped it off so that it would kind of give it that wood look. And then I'm gonna sand the edges of my stars, and then I found these chalkboard stickers also at the Dollar Tree. Everything's from the Dollar Tree, of course. And I'm gonna attach those to my stars, and you can use a chalk marker now to mark whatever it is you're gonna be putting in these dispensers. So I made a hole at the top of the stars with my CROP-O-DILE, and I will have this linked in my description box below for you guys, and also it's in my Amazon store. And then I'm going to attach those using some jute twine to each of my dispensers. So here's where it went a little bit awry. I was going to just put some hook and loop tape at the top and then attach it to the top part of the bottom side of my tray, but there's a teeny tiny gap, and it was just big enough where the glue and the hook and loop tape wasn't sticking, it wasn't adhering, so it was jiggling. So I found these little wood rounds, and I think I got these from Michael's. Well, actually I didn't get them, somebody had gifted them to me. So I just glued those on to the bottom of my dispensers and then put my hook and loop tape on the bottom of that and the top of my tray, just so that it would make it even and that gap was gone, if that makes sense. So now I can put my dispensers on top, mark whatever inside of them. I just put water in these because I wasn't going to make all these and I didn't have a party coming up at that time, and then just wrote the different things that you could put inside of these dispensers. But it lifts them up just enough so that you can put this on the edge of your island or table or whatever you have it on. It's super cute for the 4th of July, even though the 4th of July is in a day or so, depending on when I get this video out. But then you can just dump it, refill it, or do whatever by pulling it off of there and then placing it right back on there. And then Dollar Tree always has these super adorable straws, and they come in all kinds of colors and patterns, as well as these fun plastic bottles with the big straws. So if you pull that straw out and then slip in your own pretty ones in there, you can turn it over and this becomes a cute way to dispense your party straws, and you can get that in whatever party theme you're using. Set that right next to your dispensers and you're all set. So these over-the-door plastic hooks are super functional, using them just as they were intended for the back of a door, but you can also spray paint them in matte black or gold or whatever metal color works for you. Pop it over the top of your fence and it grabs onto it really tightly because it's kind of close together and that's super heavy duty plastic. And you can use this to hang solar lanterns on it. You can get some bigger ones too because it is really heavy duty, like I said. I got these on Amazon and I'll have them linked in the description box below. But this is a great way to light up a dark walkway or just give you some really pretty backyard lighting, because we all know first you got to set the mood. Another way to use these Dollar Tree over the door hooks is to use them in the backyard to hang your towels on. And we're going to give these a little bit more cuteness by adding a Dollar Tree summer plaque. Again, so many options of these adorable signs. So I just drilled a couple of holes toward the top and bottom of the plaque and then fed in some nylon zip ties to secure my hook in place. And then in the meantime, I found this 4-hook hanger, which is even better because it's longer. And this year's beach decor at the Dollar Tree is really super cute. And so again, lots of options for this idea. Hang it on a fence or a gate, and it's a perfect and super cute way to keep your towels off of the ground. So this was the first year that I've seen Dollar Tree carry these plastic flower pots in matte black, and I was so excited because it saved a step of having to paint them. But if you're outdoors and the mosquitoes are eating more than you are, pick up some of these citronella sticks, some sand, and some pretty white rocks. Fill your pot about halfway and poke 3 of those sticks right inside. And then you could add a solar light right in the middle and put that on your outdoor tables here and there just to keep the mosquitoes away. Again, we're setting the mood, keeping the bugs away, and I made these about 2 months ago and it still lights up, so it's definitely worth the $1.25. Next, I'm moving into the laundry room, and I've got a wooden tray from the Crafter's Square and a little trash bin with a swivel lid, and I spray painted mine with matte white. You don't have to do this, but again, we go back to that rule of plastic. And then I used some Dollar Tree rub-on letters to spell out Lint Bin. Of course, you could handwrite this with a paint pen or use your cutting machine if you have one. And then I cut out some greenery rub-ons to add some cuteness to the sides. And I really could have gotten that a lot straighter. Anyway, on my wood tray, I'm just gonna stain it with my antique wax, and I went pretty dark with it this time. And then I found this pretty peel and stick wallpaper sheet with the decals at Dollar Tree, and I cut a rectangle piece to fit at the bottom of my tray, and then took some white string and wrapped the handles with it to just dress it up a little more. And then on the front, I'm gonna write dryer sheets. And you guessed it, this tray is the exact size for our Great Value dryer sheets from Walmart. And it makes the laundry room smell super, super good. I hope you enjoyed these projects, and if you did, don't forget to give them a thumbs up, comment, let me know what you think, share it. I know it's been a while since I've been here, but I really have missed you guys. Thank you for all of the well wishes and prayers and love that you've been sending. I hope everyone has a blessed day, and remember to always be the light. Bye!